Apparently, I stabbed somebody. I didn't think I would get suspended.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have got suspended. Pretty much found a loophole to stick it on me. Well, I don't want to get caught. It's only like 10 feet. I'll just jump. And I jumped and...
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Rodeo Time, the podcast. We got the long-haired hippie cowboy in the house, and I'm not talking about Dale Brisby. I'm talking about my good friend Rocker Steiner. Hey, crack a ranch fuel and listen in. Get them for 15% off on ranchfuel.com when you use code DALE, D-A-L-E. Let's hear Rocker's story, old son. This is part 2.
Part 2. Yeah.
Yeah. How you feel since part 1?
A lot different.
Yeah?
Yeah, for some reason. How long ago was that?
It seems like a year, at least a year and a half. So it was last year, maybe in the spring?
Yeah, it was right after the finals.
Because it was after the NFR and we talked about the fines.
Yeah, it was almost 2 years ago.
Yeah. How do you feel that much different?
I don't know, just...
You're riding
and just...
Rodeoing in general?
A lot older, I guess. A bit older.
It's a lot of miles between now and then.
I know. Yep.
A year and a half doesn't
old.
sound like a lot to someone, but like it's a lot of rodeos. That's a lot of going down the road.
Yeah, it's especially like you start, I don't know, for me, because like looking back whenever I was 18 in rodeo, I'm like, I feel like a way different person now than I was then. Just, I mean, I guess it's only like, a year, like 2.5 years, but still.
Yeah, you think about most people when they start full-time rodeoing, they're not normally that young. Mm-hmm. They're
normally they're mature
23,
already, yeah.
4, and they've college rodeoed, and then now it's maybe time to go to, you throw an 18, 19-year-old out on the road.
Yeah, and the difference between an 18-year-old and a 20-year-old is a big difference.
Yep. That's what always kept me from getting tattoos at that age.
Yeah, that's kind of what my holdback is.
I kept thinking, man, I've changed so much in the last year. There's no telling. It might take 2 weeks before I regret this tattoo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because you changed so much.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of my holdback.
You going to Pendleton this week?
Mm-hmm. Friday. Try not to jump off a roof.
Yeah, what about that?
Dude, the guy that owns that bar that I jumped off of, he's messaged me like a few times wanting to host my 21st birthday.
That's hilarious.
I'm like, I told him, I was like, can we have a roof jumping contest, like a wet t-shirt contest off the roof?
Well, I didn't know. Tell me the story, if you want.
So pretty much, we went to the Letterbuck room. I drank quite a bit, and then we went to a Mexican food restaurant. They had margaritas. Had some margaritas, and then the bar at the Letterbuck room closes at 6 because everybody just gets roundhoused. And so it's probably like 8 o'clock, and everybody was going out. So I was like, well, let's go to this other bar. And then all my friends get in that are like my age. Everybody gets in except me because the door guy knew who I was. And he was like, you're not coming in. I was like, oh, bullshit. I'm getting in this bar. And he's like, no, you're not. So I snuck in once. They caught me immediately, kicked me out again. And I was like, fine, well, I'll sneak in from the roof. Because there's like behind the building, you can get up on the roof, and then it kind of looked like you could get, I don't know what I was thinking. But pretty much I got on the roof, they caught me, and I was like, well, I don't want to get caught. It's only like 10 feet, I'll just jump. And I jumped and hit and pretty much felt everything. In my left foot snap, and my right ankle felt like Bambi running across the road.
Dang.
Yeah, I could feel like, if these are like my toes and this is like my heel, it felt like everything was just like...
Did it actually break?
Everything broke. Like, literally, the doctor said you couldn't have broke your foot any worse.
Wow.
He's like, it's horrible.
Damn. What year was that?
It was September of 22. It was like, September of 22. I had 3 months before the finals. My dad was like, well, no NFR for us. And I was like, no, we're fucking going.
Yeah.
And then, they kept telling me, you're probably not going to get to go. And I'm like, I'm going. Promise.
So this year has been a little more mellow than normal for you.
Yeah, I've definitely tried to stay out of... Well, I've never had a full year of rodeoing. Every time I've got on a heater, I always either got hurt, suspended, or, I never really got to train for the finals that well, other than last year. I mean, last year I was fine, but I had 30 days off in July, which sucked.
Dang.
Yeah.
30 days.
In July.
In July.
Yeah. I didn't draw any good over the 4th anyways. It didn't
How'd
matter.
you feel about it? Did you expect it was going to be more than that?
What do you mean? Like
The 30 days?
I didn't think I would get suspended.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have got suspended. They pretty much found a loophole to stick it on me pretty good. But, I mean.
What happened with that?
With the suspension?
Yeah, why'd you get suspended at all?
Pretty much. So it's kind of like a long. I think I've said it before. Like kind of.
You don't have to tell if you don't want to.
Like so we go to Reno. I ride and I'm like, I get on 2-buck chuck, win the long round, and then we were supposed to fly to Springdale to get on Prairie Fire of Cervies.
Yeah.
And then the plane wasn't working, so we were like, oh, back up. So Jaco Roper is in my set, and we ride. Well, his rigging gets smashed by this horse, Reno Rosser's horse, and just shatters his rigging. Well, it's a kind of like one of his best horses, I think. And Reno was like, hey, I'll buck this horse for you tomorrow if you wanted to get on it. Well, Jaco was like, okay, I'll get on it. Well, we're supposed to fly to Springdale. The plane's not working, so we're like, let's go help Jaco. Well, we get to the rodeo like 20 minutes before the rodeo starts, and Jaco's in the parking lot. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? He's like, he's like, I just got this new rigging, and I don't want that horse to smash my rigging again. And I was like, dude, you were 82 in the long round. Like, all you have to do is be like 80 points to make it this round. And he's like, okay. Well, I was like, dude, just get on the horse. I'll make sure everything's all right. So he gets on, neck rope guy. I told him, I was like, look, this horse is going to try him. Like, stay awake on this thing. Well, horse tries him, gets him a little bit. And then I was like, pay attention. And then it smashes the shit out of him. And he just lets the neck rope go. And I was like, dude, pay attention. He's like, you need to calm down. Some words were said or whatever. And after I walk away, and pretty much he's like, you think you can kick my ass? And I was like, yeah, I do. And I was like, you're not worth my time or whatever, and walked away, and stuff happened, and I got suspended for 30 days.
Dang.
Yeah, there's a lot more to that story, but
yeah, that's about the gist.
We'll come out with it whenever I am retired.
There you go.
But
well, last time you talked, you made a comment saying that you had thought about retiring then. Mm-hmm. Has that crossed your mind again?
No. No.
I know when we recorded the podcast,
I was still pissed off. Yeah.
You were pissed off, but you were also over it.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't going to be. You didn't want to retire.
Yeah.
Whatever.
No. Retiring only crossed my mind for seriously like maybe 12 hours. I was like, it was just like that point at the finals where I was like, not gonna win the world, and I really just wanted to go home. Because I was like, if I'm not in the contention for a world title, I don't really see fit to be there. So,
yeah,
that was like a point where like I knew I wasn't gonna win the world, and then a bunch of stuff was going on social media, and I was like, screw this, like this sucks. And then obviously I snapped out of it and won a round, and then everything's good from there. But
yeah,
no, I haven't thought about retiring. Like whenever I get a gold buckle, I don't think I'll retire. I don't think.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like whenever my dad and granddad retired, like they had kids and a wife, and I don't have any of that. So I started a lot younger than they did. So
yeah, just keep on rolling.
Well, I guess I didn't start younger than my granddad, but yeah, I'll go for as many buckles as I can. Probably. I won't be 30 and rodeoing under that.
Well, how's it feel now going into September? I mean, you got like 2 weeks left in the season. How does it feel having made it through an entire year of rodeoing?
Dude, so good. So like this was like I made a point this year to like not come home, like go to everything I can, and I've only been to like 50 rodeos, which is not as many as I wanted to go to, but I didn't draw good for a little bit, so I turned out of a lot of rodeos. So, but I've been to like 51 or 2, something like that. But holding strong at second in the world, and like 10 grand behind number 1.
that rascal.
I know. God, I'll give it to him. He likes to rodeo. You're not gonna out rodeo Keenan Hayes. You're not gonna do it. I mean, he goes to everything.
Yeah.
But it's cool to be chasing.
Yeah.
Like that. I mean,
but you're only 10,000 behind him though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I got respect for the kid. He likes to rodeo.
Isn't he? This is his second year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So how do you feel today? I've seen some of your rides lately. You look super strong. Well, how do you feel going into Pendleton?
Going into Pendleton, I feel good. I think I have somewhat of a chance to do decent. I got a horse called Turbo Rocket that I got on there last year, and it's just it's all right.
Yeah.
It's not bad enough to not get on, I don't think, but it's probably not good enough to win the long run or anything. But if I can get to the short run, I gotta win Pendleton because whenever I jumped off the roof, I had Tootsie Roll the next day in the short round, which I definitely could have won Pendleton on.
Dang.
And what really pisses me off about that year is there was like, out of the whole year, there was like 4 bronzes. There was Fallon, Calgary, Darby, and Pendleton. And I won 3.
Ooh.
And I was on the bronze tour, dude.
Dang.
And I had Tootsie Roll in the short round, and I had broken feet.
That hurts.
Sucked.
Have you been flying a lot, rodeoing?
I flew a little bit this year, but not as much as last year, because last year I had to enter so stupid in August and September that I couldn't drive.
Yeah.
So, not as much.
Yeah.
Which was good. I like driving. Something about driving like late at night. When Cole and Waylon are sleeping and always leave me, just to drive by myself, pretty much. It's
part of rodeoing.
Yeah, it's like a good clarity. I don't know.
But when you do have that wife and kids, it will be nice to have the plane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I want a pre-bus bus. I want like a tour bus.
Are you taking the plane to Pendleton?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to make that drive.
So what's your pilot's name?
Hooter.
Yeah. Your dad, me and Trevor and Luke jumped in with your dad to go to the draft. Mm-hmm. And got to take the plane. My first time in a PJ, and he flew it. Obviously, that was super fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a good
Hooter.
time.
He's seen his days.
He's a hoot.
He's got some stories to tell. He's pretty fun to talk to.
Yeah, it seems so. How long's he been with your family?
He's been flying me around for 2 years now.
Yeah,
but he's known my granddad since way back when.
Since the old days.
Yeah, the olden days, back when they bucked.
Who you say you're traveling with?
Waylon Bourgeois and Cole Franks.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was the first year I've had like my own group, which helped a lot. Last year I was with Waylon last year, but we had Mason Clements with us, and after Reno he decided to ditch us. So
yeah.
So I didn't. After Reno, I didn't really rodeo with anybody. It was just kind of because I had to enter so stupid, and I had 30, 40 rodeos that I got back, so I could enter so much. But this year it was a lot different. Like, especially rodeoing with guys that like to rodeo, because I've always been one to like leave for a couple weeks. I'm like, man, I want to go home. Like,
right?
Can we go home for 3 or 4 days and then reset and come back? And then this time, they want to stay gone, and so I'm like, if they're going, I'm going, because it's really like I've always loved hanging out with my friends. Like, I do everything I go hunting on those 24-hour varmint hunts, and it's really just an excuse to go hang out with my friends for 24 hours.
For sure.
So like rodeoing this year, like if I didn't even draw that great, I'd still go because I just wanted to hang out with my friends.
Yeah.
So like they kept me out on the road a lot more this year than I wanted to, but it made it a lot better. And
but
so
you also like going with your dad and your granddad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many of those 51 were they with you?
Dad was with me probably half the time. No, Dad probably went to like 20 rodeos maybe.
Yeah.
And then Baba, he didn't go any. He's kind of over rodeo.
I actually bareback riding. Yeah, so I when I dabbled in bareback riding, I spent a lot of time around Clinton Cannon.
Mm-hmm.
and Jay went with him everywhere.
Yeah, Jay called me yesterday. I talked to him on the phone yesterday.
Yeah, love Jay.
He's a great guy.
And
all the cannons are.
I loved how much he went with Clint. I mean, entered him too.
Yeah,
like, hey,
Dad enters all of us.
Yeah. So I respect that about, and it made me appreciate two things. Number one, I was very appreciative that I had that support by my immediate family, not necessarily my extended family, but I always felt bad for guys that didn't get support from their immediate family.
I appreciate you saying that because a lot of guys don't respect that.
Dude, I wanted it so bad. So like, I told my dad, like, as we started, he would go with me sometimes, but he just kind of let it be my thing. And I just had like this week where I was just like, I want what Clint Cannon has. And I told him, I was like, I want you at every rodeo I go to. And it was like 2 weeks later, he died. But, which, I mean, sad story, whatever, but I'm not trying to, but my point is like when I see that, I think that's awesome. And like as much like your dad right there, Bobby right there, that's cool.
Yeah, like you always hear stories of, people saying that they wish their dad could be there. And like, like sometimes my dad like gets on my nerves like every dad does. And I get on his nerves too. But, you hear guys say, I wish my dad could go to, one more rodeo or whatever. And like, I'm just not going to let that be my story.
Yeah.
Like my first year at the finals, some guy said stuff about my dad, and I pretty much fucking told him like, you would give anything for your dad to be here. Like, don't give me the same story that you got because I'm not gonna let that happen. Like, whenever I'm 80 years old and on my deathbed, I'm not gonna go, man, I wish I spent more time with my dad.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
people can say what they want about having your dad there all the time, and a lot of people. It was more said whenever I was 18, 19, as like more than now. But I've always been like that. I'm never gonna let that cross my mind if I should have been around my dad more. Because I mean, I've been ever since I can walk. I mean, every day of my life I was with my dad going to ranch listings or whatever we were doing. I mean, I've always. From the time I was born to, 16 years old, I was with him every day.
Yeah. It's cool that so obviously you admit, and I would too about my dad, that there's definitely the days where you get on each other's nerves, whatever, everybody has it. But for the most part, I didn't, and it sounds like you didn't, have that intense phase where you thought your dad knew nothing.
Yeah, no. My dad is very smart, so is my granddad. Sometimes my dad gets mad about scores or, just like every dad does. My dad's just a little bit more public with it. But, it's just, I know that he just loves me. And he's like that with Waylon and Cole too. I mean, he loves people so much that he can't help to say what's on his mind. And sometimes it's a flaw and, but it really needs to be said more. I mean, sometimes things happen and dad, it pisses dad off a little bit, but, it's out of love for sure. And, a lot of people have crossed my dad, in this world. And, he doesn't really trust nobody anymore.
Yeah. He's also been there, like everywhere you're going.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean. Like he's entered the same rodeos.
Like, my dad's done more for bareback riding than most.
I believe that.
I mean, without the rig and the rig and rally made bareback riding cool again. I mean, there was a few years whenever I was starting like bareback riding, there was probably like 50, 60 bareback riders. Rodeos weren't filling up with bareback riders, and then the rig and rallies came along, and it was like we had like 80 bareback riders.
Yeah,
and then next thing you know, it was like, we got just standalone bareback riding, probably like 3 or 4 a year, not as much as the extreme broncs or bulls, but bareback riding, it's almost, we almost have too many bareback riders now.
I would credit that to the Steiners in general.
Yeah.
Not even necessarily just the rig and rally, like just the vibe that you guys have helped start behind Bareback. I mean, I don't know. I think your willingness to look at something for what it is, not what the whole world thinks it is, to fall in line. It's like, no, this is cool. This is wild. Even though there's fewer people doing this event every year, this is what I want to do. It just kind of gave everyone else permission to not care.
Yeah, for sure. There's always been so many bull riders. It seems like over the last 10 years, there's been a lot more bronc riders, but bull ride was what everybody wanted to do. And now it seems like, I have so many kids messaging me about wanting to start riding bareback horses. It seems like bareback riding is really starting to be the cool event. And, obviously all events are cool.
Yeah.
But it seems like bareback riding is like the one that's everybody's starting to want to do.
Yeah.
Which is perfect.
Yeah, it's super exciting. But my hope is just that they get on the right horses.
Mm-hmm. That's the kind of the scary thing is there's so many kids that are like, hey, I want to start riding bareback horses. What do I do? And I'm almost kind of scared for them. Because I was always protected almost. And which is, some say would be the non-cowboy, or I don't know what the hell they would say. They'd figure something out. But, I'm kind of scared for kids. Just I don't want to just be you need to go to you need to enter this rodeo, or you need to go to this practice pen. Cause I'm I just don't want me to tell some kid, hey, you need to go do this, and they do that, and then they, get hurt. And
dude, I had a guy working for me, and reluctantly I let him go to a school, and they ran this, 1,600 pound colt in there, and broke his arm in the rigging and had to have surgery. Had to landed on his butt, but broke his arm.
Yeah.
And pat him on the back, said, got to lift harder next time. And that was his last bareback horse.
Yeah. I want to,
it's just why is this guy for his 8th bareback horse getting on this colt that could go to the NFR?
So I had an idea. I been wanting to do it for a while, but I don't think many people thought that I was a great coach. I definitely have some ideas that I want to do a school in October where pretty much it's if you're from the age of, 15 to 25 or whatever, I probably won't even do an age limit if you're a 4 or 5 year old kid and you want to come hang out, come do it. But I want to pretty much pick, do spur board, bucket machine, put a rigging on a saddle horse, and put everybody through a deal, and pretty much tell everybody look, if I think you're ready to get on a practice horse, I'll put you on. But if I don't think so, I'm gonna just go home, here's a spur board that you can have, and go home, and then we're gonna have one in 3 or 4 months.
That's a good idea. Is instead of a school on how to ride bareback horses, make the first 2 days how to build a spur board.
Yeah.
And then come back next year.
There's, I think it's, I want to say it's almost like Devin Riley that has a YouTube channel that he posts how to build a spur board. I've watched every video there ever was about how to set up a rig, and I'm pretty sure I watched a video of how to set up a rig in 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I used to watch all those videos, and I used to watch the videos of Bobby Moat, what's in his gear bag, stuff like that. But there's plenty of videos of how to set up a rigging or a spur or build a spur board. But I want to do a school pretty much where I'm gonna tell them look, if you're ready to get on, I'm gonna put you on a horse. But if you're not, if I don't think you're ready, don't hate me.
Yeah,
I'm just helping you. And come back, and we're gonna have another one in 2 months.
Man, because there's so many kids that just they're not ready, and that there's a certain caliber of bucking horse that if they get on, it's a disaster. It's just your prayer as a knowledgeable rodeo cowboy watching it unfold. Your prayer is that at least they buck off and not get hurt.
Yeah,
and I don't think that's a good situation. So, yeah, I got an old NFR horse. Came from Scotty Lovelace, Pete Carr, and he, with a flank on him, he's kind of droppy and will circle to the left. And that's why he's a little droppy. That's what made me bring Donnie here first. And he got on his first bronc here because y'all had some hoppers. Well, then later when I got home, I got to thinking like, man, I bet if we just hang the flank, most horses would run off. Mm-hmm. But this horse, I thought he'll still circle. And sure enough, he just like pogo stick around the corner and makes the same tracks. And that's what we put guys on for their first horse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I like my idea was like I don't want to like most schools it's like, hey, they call up a stock contractor, do you guys have some colts you guys want to buck? Let's put these kids on these colts.
That's what broke my buddy's arm.
And they're thinking their thought is, well, these colts don't have power, but you also don't know what they're going to do, you know? Mm-hmm. And so like I would rather round up, you know.
Some of them do though. And you never know which one.
Exactly. You might be accidentally putting the kid that doesn't need to get on the rankest horse, and you have no idea. So my thinking is like, let's just round up like 20 or 30 just like older, just like nice practice horses, and I'd rather them get on that because we know what it's going to do than strap them on some colt that could be out of Killer B.
I think in order, what I would suggest, number one, you find someone like Dale Brisby that's got that horse I described, and you get on that horse twice a week, every week for a year before you get on something else. That's an exaggeration, but whatever. Number two, or Dale Brisby or Rocker. You know, if you're able, and that's just like knowing someone. You're not. That doesn't mean that me or Rocker should just answer every phone call. Like we only have so many horses. So if you can't do that, the second best thing is college rodeo, because most of those have a weekly practice and they have one of those horses. So if you don't even have to be on the team to be able to practice. They'll let beginners show up. So second choices. And then number three would be to go to a school. That's my suggestion to guys.
And you don't want to just like go to like, I mean, most of the bareback riders that are having schools are very, very knowledgeable about, you know, obviously how to ride bareback horses and, you know, somewhat of an idea of what they're getting on. Because, I mean, like all of service colts are like pretty not going to want to kill you. And normally pretty weak. But now you don't want to just like be strapping off into Calgary's colt pool.
It's just so crazy to think about a guy cracking that rigging around for the first or second, third, under 20, and they're getting on one of those horses that you're describing.
Yeah, like
that, to me, that's terrifying.
It's just I really recommend a quick release, because I mean, quick release saved my career a lot.
That's so ridiculous that the PRCA has not approved of those. That you can't have them.
I don't know why.
Kid in Denver. He'd be fine.
I rode mine until Houston, my first year.
Dude. So you rode with them at pro rodeos? But they're against the rules, aren't they?
Yeah, so I won Denver, and I heard that was against the rules, and I freaked out because I thought they were going to take my money away, which it wouldn't have mattered. They took it away anyways, but.
Why? Hey, thanks for listening in. Who the heck is Dale Brisby? That's what my shirt says. I got it on rodeotime.com. Hey, text the word special offer to 940-353-0890. That's my phone number, and I'll text you when we have deals on rodeotime.com. That's 940-353-0890. You can also text me the word podcast, and I'll let you know when these come out. And a quick thanks to our sponsors, American Hat, Total Feeds, Can-Am Side-by-Sides, and Mountain Ops Supplements. Thanks, guys. I'm Dale Brisby. Now back to Rocker.
Because that was another big ordeal. So I turned 18, bought my card. I had my card bought like a month before my birthday. So whenever I turned 18 on my birthday, I could enter a rodeo. And so I turned 18, entered Odessa, and then my birthday was too late to enter Denver, so I re-entered it. And then I went to like 3 rodeos on my permit, filled my permit, bought my card.
So you're riding at Denver on a re-entry with your card.
Yes,
Golly.
exactly. So
let the kids play.
I know. So I had my card bought before Odessa and Denver. Well, I won Odessa, and then I won Denver. Well, they're like, you entered it on a permit. I was like, but I had my card before. And so they didn't let like 13,000 count, something like that.
Golly. Oh, yeah, they just didn't let it count towards your world
Towards
standings.
my
Gotcha.
permit standings,
yeah.
though. Like,
yeah, you got the money. They didn't take it away from you. It
Yeah,
just didn't go towards your world.
it didn't go towards my, and like at that point, I was like, if I miss the finals by $13,000,
No kidding.
I'm gonna kill somebody.
Yeah.
Not really. That's a joke. I'm not killing anybody.
I'm going to freak out.
I'm gonna freak out.
There you go. I'll freak out. And we do know that you will do that.
I haven't freaked out.
You've been known to freak out.
Apparently, I stabbed somebody.
Yeah. Leighton told me to ask you about when you stabbed that guy in that town.
So it was during Reno. Like they did get the state.
When you stabbed him?
Yeah. When I allegedly stabbed somebody. Yeah, so it's not funny because I apparently like whenever I first saw it, I was like, "That's funny." Well, then people started to believe it, and I was like, "Guys, like, I didn't do this. I promise." And so I went to Reno, got in the deal, and then I left and I went to Pecos. I rode at Pecos, drove to Fort Worth, flew to Calgary to go to Sundre. Well, the day that they said I allegedly stabbed this person in Waterloo, Nevada, which isn't it's not a real city. It's nowhere. Waterloo is not a place. Anyway, I had to come out on a damn Instagram post, and I was like, I left Reno to go to Pecos, and then the day that they said that I stabbed this guy, allegedly, I was flying to Calgary. I was pretty much on a plane whenever they said I stabbed this person, allegedly.
So did somebody actually get stabbed?
I don't know.
It's just Leighton told me it was like a joke rumor that someone started because it was a made up town.
It was a full on AI like article. Like this was like a real thing. Like it looked real.
Dang.
And I was like, but a good thing, like a guy like made like a TikTok or something. He's like, I'm an ex, detective or whatever. He's like, I'm not seeing anything in this article that looks real.
Yeah.
So that guy saved me, maybe.
Sorry for making jokes. I thought it was sure enough. I thought it was just a prank.
I do think it's funny. Like it's cool. It's nice to be at least big enough to where they can come up with something like that.
Yeah, you're making enough waves that right now the rumor on me is that I'm going to be the new Texas Tech rodeo head coach.
I believe it.
Well, I did actually. That is what made me go to grad school. Like when you
rodeo coach,
when you get your master's, they don't want you to say, "I've got another year of college eligibility for rodeo," and I don't mind school, so I want to keep going. Like that's not a good enough reason. Like when you get your master's, they want you to say, "Why are you here? Why you're there?" And for me, it was to be a rodeo coach one day. And so, anyways, it's just funny that came up. But my old man rodeoed at Tech, and so that would be neat. But I don't have the time.
How many kids? Dude, you have a roster.
Dude, we would we would win rodeos we're not even entered in if I was the coach, But
dude, do you know how many kids would show up with like a 1973 bull rope? This is my granddad's bull rope. I watch all your videos. I want to start getting on.
Yeah, but that's the funny rumor going around. But
at least you didn't stab somebody.
Yeah, that one's worse. That one's worse. Worst case for me, I get a call to actually be the coach.
Yeah.
Worst case for you, a police officer shows up.
That has happened.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you been fined any this year?
I don't think so.
Really?
I'm a behaved man. Yeah.
Really? Clean as a whistle.
I mean, other than probably late fees and stuff, but I did get fined.
Cursing.
I did, yeah. Guyman? No, I didn't go to. Where was it?
They all run together.
I think.
Oh, you cussed in the arena.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was it on TV?
Mm-hmm.
Was it live?
Probably. I don't know if I don't think.
How much was it?
$250 or something.
Yeah, joke's on them. I'd have paid more.
That a lot of people get fined for that. I mean, quite a few people get fined for that, but not a big deal.
Do you plan on getting fined at the NFR this year?
Mm-mm.
Nope, not going to happen.
I I'm not planning on it.
Are you taking any steps to prevent it, or you're just not planning on it?
I'm just not planning. I wasn't planning on it the first time.
Yeah.
So you never know.
Yeah.
But the first time, after the 4th round, something like that, I pretty much made it like a point to get fined. Because I wanted the record. I texted Cody Ole and everything. How much did you get fined? And I was gonna beat it. He beat me by like $500.
Dang.
Yeah. But last year I got fined $750. That was it. Twice, 2 fines.
Not bad.
And it was just for being late.
Did your dad get fined that year you had cornrows?
No, everybody says that he got fined, but I mean he did, and it was only he only got fined for rolling up his sleeve. He would roll up his left sleeve and tape it because he'd always run a horn in his left sleeve. So he taped it up, and they fined him like $100 every night.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Worth
and
it.
then after he won the world, they're like, let's just call it even. He's like, perfect.
We'll keep all the money you won, and then you just that's the even part.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but no, I'm not planning on getting fined. I'm planning on behaving and winning the world. That's my plan.
but you're still gonna be rocker.
Oh, I'm gonna be me every day.
Yeah.
But maybe just less cussing, maybe.
What about your outfits? You plan on
Doing some crazy stuff.
Attaboy.
But I mean, my riding outfit is kind of what I'm not gonna go too crazy. I mean, I can't.
Yeah. No. I meant definitely just during the day or night.
Yeah.
Not during the ride.
Like my dad, like he had a lot better chance to like wear some cooler stuff in the arena because like I'm wearing chaps and I got my vest, so it's like kind of pointless to wear unless
Right.
I wanted to do like some fringe or something. But
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do that.
Then you're messing with your ride. And,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna ride in the same thing. I mean, if I do anything crazy, it's gonna be with my hair, my extra chaps on my head.
Didn't you get on Virgil again?
No,
Just the rigging rally?
I didn't do it. I've been on him twice.
You have?
Mm-hmm.
How'd it go?
95 and 92.
Why are you saying it like that?
I didn't get on him again, just twice.
You did get okay. All right. I was like, man,
No, I
I'm
didn't.
missing something.
No, I didn't get on
Dang.
him. That was another.
That's how it
guy.
went, huh?
That wasn't me.
It wasn't? Who was it?
No,
That was someone else wearing rocker stuff.
yeah, Leighton Berry actually forgot all of his stuff, and so I had to wear my wardrobe.
Gotcha. And it looked like you,
Yeah,
but you would never.
I didn't get on him again.
You would never.
No, I did get on him again. He did fold me up.
Really?
Yeah, so Virgil has like that really good trip,
Mm-hmm.
and then he also has like that really bad trip where he steps ahead and wants to kill you.
I bet when that sunbuck steps ahead, it's a little different than just a normal E-pin.
Yeah, it's awful. It's very painful.
Well, he's TV pin, right?
Yeah, so like his good trip is TV pin. His bad trip,
Feels like E-pin.
very E pin.
See, a horse that bucks that well, you can tell. Like if it has its good night, it's TV
Yeah, and
pin quality.
it's crazy. You know what trip he's gonna have before he even has it.
Really?
Yeah, because like normally he's like super happy Virgil that everybody knows, like putting his head over and like looking at you and like scratching his head on the chute and whenever he's pissed off and he like head down, kicking the back,
Really?
like, back slat. It's like
Very
I remember
interesting.
like my rigging is on him pulled and he's like head down, like kicking, like stomping, and I like looked at Richie Champion. I was like, "Is he okay?" And Richie's like, "You're gonna be fine." And I was like, "No, I'm not. This is not gonna be good."
Dang, you knew that.
I mean, I was like, I'm gonna kill this thing.
Right.
And then like that third jump, I was like, oh no,
Oh, no.
oh no.
Oh, no.
Yeah, like he like walked out of there. He like stepped with his right foot first and like kind of like rocked me, and then he like walked again and like sat me back and then stepped forward, and it was like, it was bad.
Why did they stop running him in the saddle bronc?
He was in the Bronx right before, but he was out of right hand delivery.
Mm-hmm.
And so he got, I think, my theory is that he got used to leaving in the right lead. And then they put him back in the left, which it was my idea to go in the lefts because Tyson was like, hey, we're going to put him out of the rights. And I was like, I have pretty good luck out of the lefts. And he's like, okay. And I was like, and then I got bucked off and I was like, no.
Should just,
I should
yeah.
have listened. But it's all good. I don't think that would happen again.
Huh.
Yeah, that thing is way too big and way too athletic to be moving like that.
I've always been curious what he feels like under a bronc saddle.
Everybody says he feels so good.
Yeah. That's what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
It's also always really curious what Medicine Woman felt like, which I got on her in a bareback rigging.
Why would you do that?
We didn't know who she was.
That's what we're talking about, kids.
That's what I'm
You
saying.
might show up to a rodeo school and you might be getting on Medicine Woman.
It was Athens one year they added a lot of money in the sports news, and it was, I want to say, like Andrews, Frontier, like State. I can't remember. There were multiple stock contractors there, and it was going to be at the time it was 5,000 added, which for Athens was a lot.
Yeah.
And so they really stacked it. Well, then at the last minute, for whatever reason, money fell through. They dropped it to 1,500, but they kept. That's just the way I remember it. And we all got on All Stars. Ross Sherrod, you know Ross, bareback rider.
Ross who?
Ross Sherrod.
I don't think I've ever met him.
Anyways, went to the Marines, little sawed off, pretty salty bareback rider. He got on a horse. You ever heard of Memphis King?
Mm-mm.
Anyway, at the time, I don't even remember.
I didn't pay
who he
attention to
was.
bareback riding until like 7 years ago.
Yeah, this was before that. But anyways, Jacobs swears it was a different horse, but I remember that horse.
Yeah, I would be curious. Like, I've never gotten on Killer Bee, but all the bronc riders say that Killer Bee wasn't that bad under a saddle. But all the bareback riders are like,
dang. But didn't Killer Bee start as a saddle bronc horse?
I don't know.
I thought he started as one.
I don't know. That thing would be a handful in the bareback rigging.
Yeah. Dude. Yeah, no kidding. Wasn't it, what was it, Dawson got on him when he retired him?
I remember watching that ride, and I was like kind of up in the stands for some reason. Like, I was over by like where everybody hangs out. And I like looked down to watch, and whenever he double grabbed, I was like, that might be a new world record. And then they're like 91 or something. I was like, what?
Yeah.
That was like one of the rankest bronc rides I have ever seen.
Right. Yeah. No, that was anything on that horse. I'm with you, though. I can't imagine getting on him in a bareback rigging. There's a lot of horses I can't imagine getting on in a bareback rigging.
And a lot of broncs, it's nice. I'm like, that thing would suck in the barebacks. Like, long, and I'm like, ooh.
Yeah.
I'm like, you guys can keep that one. Give me Miss Valley.
How has your opinion changed, or has it, on eliminators?
I would say I'm a better rank horse rider now than I was then. Like, my first year, like, honestly, I didn't get on that many eliminators my first year. I got on Ghost Town, Odessa, which probably questionably one of the rankest horses ever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, whenever it has its trip, and got on that, and then I drew maybe like 2 or 3 other eliminators, but nothing crazy. I didn't really get on them. This year I got on a lot of eliminators. Last year I got on a lot of eliminators. I still have a lot to work on with them, but probably a lot better now than I was then.
What is Butler doing with their horse herd? Do you know?
I don't know. I found out the news. It's heartbreaking. I couldn't imagine.
Dude,
that's a lot of horses.
That's
it's a
heartbreaking.
bad mistake that somebody made that cost them a lot.
Dude, everything.
Yeah, it's
a lot of generations of.
There's just no telling how many NFR horses were going to come out of those horses, and how many horses were going to go to the finals, and how many more years, and how many babies are going to be come out of Ghost Town, and it's it's kind of a can't really price that. I mean, it's a lot of money and a lot of time mainly.
Yeah, guys make jokes about certain horses, not anything in particular, but like, man, I don't ever want to get on. Like, they ought to just send that one. But I feel like any rodeo cowboy.
It's very sad. Like,
anybody that heard that news had their heart broken.
Yeah.
No matter how you feel about.
I love horses. Horses are,
Yeah, even other events, Tommy's, anything.
Yeah, obviously horses are without horses, we don't have rodeo. So
Right.
Horses are a beautiful animal that don't need to go out that way.
Yeah.
And that's a lot. Like if there were 70 people in this room, that'd be like a lot of people in this room.
There's towns without that many people.
Yeah, and then like if you look out in the pasture and see 70 horses, you're like, that's a lot of horses. And then they're gone, which is it's terrible.
Yeah,
it's pretty bad. But they'll find a way.
Yeah, hopefully. I'm sure I'd love to hear how maybe the community is helping them out.
Yeah, I heard that all the stock contractors were pretty much like, hey, if you like they sent like pretty much every stock contractor sent a little team of horses to Elk City, which is huge.
Yeah.
Not a lot of stock contractors get along,
right?
But it's cool to see. Even though you don't get along, you can still help somebody.
You bet.
So to see that happen was pretty cool. But
who all sent some up there?
I'm not sure. I'm terrible with knowing horses.
I'm sure Sammy did. Sammy and Benny seemed like real tight.
Yeah, he sent a lot of horses over there. But I'm not sure.
Yeah, that'd be neat to hear the story from them on that deal.
Yeah.
But that doesn't surprise me. That's exactly what I thought would happen. Like I imagine there's not anybody in the industry who wouldn't just be. I mean, like I'd send them the Winnebago Buckers if they wanted them, but they're kind of weak.
What's your one horse's name?
I got Baptist.
Baptist, yeah.
That's the one that circles around. We got we got a few hoppers now. Yeah, we got a few hoppers now.
Yeah, send those over to them.
Yeah.
But it's rodeo's always been cool. Like even if you don't really like somebody or you disagree, like whenever it comes down to it, like Benny's situation, like they're gonna help out, and like for our situation, like if there's a guy next to us and a horse smashes his rigging and breaks, we're gonna be like, here, did your hand fit in this one? So I mean, the rodeo industry is cool in that aspect, but not everybody gets along.
Yeah.
Like I wish they would, but.
Yeah, it'd be a lot better if we could get along all the time, not just in the midst of a tragedy. But
yeah, like America. I wish we could all just
there you
get
go.
along.
Yeah, it's a great comparison. Yeah, hopefully that'll. Who are you voting for? I'm just kidding. I know who you're voting for.
Yeah, that's a easy question.
Yeah, especially for anybody in rodeo.
Anybody with a brain. I'm not a politician. I'm just a bareback rider, so don't take what I say literally. But that is. I
feel like today it's a lot easier. Like people, even liberals and Democrats, are not mad when anybody says they're voting for Trump. At this point, it's just like, all right, yeah, y'all can have it this year. Yeah.
Well, like I'm not a politician by any means, but like I think one side has like obviously everybody has a great heart, and I think people want to do its best for everybody. Like I want everybody to be happy, but I also think that there's things that are wrong. But I wish everybody could just get along. Yeah. And like it's almost become a crime to have an opinion.
Oh man.
And this is America. You should be able to say what you want and believe what you want. Mm-hmm. And so, I'm not a politician by any means, but
I had a pastor on the other day, Matt Chandler, and we were talking about it, and he was saying how what they're doing is they're saying it's not okay to disagree with an ideology, whereas like for the church, for instance, like if a trans woman were to come in to the church, she should be welcomed with open arms. Absolutely, you're welcome here. Now, we disagree with the ideology, but you as a person, that's where we need to show love. And I the way he worded it was just, but the point is, people will throw rocks. Like if I disagree with the ideology, you act like I hate you personally, and that's not what I said. Yeah, that's not what I believe.
That's just what you believe. Like they've made a belief a crime, and
yes,
they're not a crime, but in a sense.
They're trying to. Yeah, there's people that do. Like, if I disagree with you, that is a crime, and I don't know, but it's fun to go to rodeos. At the base of, I think what I love about being behind the chutes is the fact that like you can go there and feel like even if you haven't met someone that you're on the same team, you know, you can make a lot of assumptions about that person, how he values life, how he treats an animal, and there's a certain camaraderie that just immediately exists just because you know you're both entered. And I'm sure other sports have it, whatever.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But that's one of the things I love about rodeo. It's you once you get there, you've got immediate friends built in, and you start your conversation at a more intimate level than you might with someone in an airport.
Yeah, for sure.
And like you said, I wish that's how the whole country could act. But also, that's what I love about where I'm at now making videos. I'm sure, you know, you're the same with your popularity, that if someone approaches me about my videos, like I feel an immediate connection with that person. Because if they watch more than one, that means, well, all right, well, they don't hate me. They know these things about me, and they're approaching me. And so now all of a sudden I'm talking to them with another level of intimacy. Had they not recognized me, that you know, anyway, it's a neat thing.
I've started to kind of feel that, like if I walk into a store and I'm going to buy something, I can tell nobody here knows who I am. I'm just like, well, let me just get my stuff and leave. But like I walked into a Harley dealership the other day and a guy knew me, and it made it way easier. Like, now, okay, I know that you know me. Okay, now I can actually be normal.
Yeah.
You know,
you feel like you can be yourself in front. You've got there's another level of relationship that's already established.
Yeah.
It's so fun because, you can pick up the conversation on another level and then just you walk on, and before you know it, you're like best friends with this person that you just met.
You ever be like walking through an airport and like you're just like looking straight ahead and you're like, that person knows who I am?
Yeah, sometimes, like, because, you know, especially in an airport, like if somebody's wearing a cowboy hat in an airport, they mean it. They do some traveling, so they probably know how to get on the internet. So if they're a cowboy and they get on the internet, odds are they've probably seen one of us, you know, on videos.
Yeah, social media is just so crazy how many people, like I looked at my insights the other day. It's crazy how many people you can reach through a telephone.
And they're real people.
Like I'm in 1974.
Dude, they're real people.
Yeah.
Like that's what I love about the booths, because I get caught out in Winnebago making videos and all I'll see are these guys, and sometimes you feel like it's not real. And then you go to a booth or you go to a rodeo and some kid walks up and you're like, oh man, that was a real person
People
watching
are
that.
watching this,
Those aren't fake.
Yeah, the internet's crazy. It can be used in a terrible way, but if you're using it for good, it can be a very powerful thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's been, I can't imagine. I got to do some Ty Murray. We talked about him. He's been on the podcast. Jim Sharp. Some guys from that era, you know, had Tough on before, and Leon Coffey. And so it's really had me just kind of daydreaming and wondering what may have been had the internet been around in the early 90s and late 80s.
In my opinion, if it was, Timer, it would be one of the biggest celebrities in the world.
Yeah. There's no telling.
I have a question. This crossed my mind.
Yeah. What's up?
If you could interview Lane Frost, what's a question you'd ask him?
Well, if I could enter him, that means maybe I could share with him the way the story unfolds, and I would ask him if he would turn out a Cheyenne. You know, real talk.
Yeah.
Like, hey,
for real.
Would you turn out of this rodeo? You know, and I don't know that he would.
I don't think he would either.
I know my dad wouldn't have.
That's crazy to think about. Like, I bet you if you asked.
That's a real question that I would legitimately, I'm not trying to be funny. Like, that's for real. Like, because I shook my dad's hand before he went to his last rodeo, and I know what he, you know. I mean, of course, yeah. If he know, like, hey, I could tell the future. Tomorrow the headline on the newspaper is going to be this, and you're going to die at this rodeo. He wouldn't have gone. Mm-hmm. But.
Yeah, I bet if you ask 1,000 people that love rodeo, if there's anybody in the world that you could could bring back one time for a podcast, like I'm gonna say 950 of them are gonna say Lane Frost.
It would be super neat to interview him because of everybody seems to be in agreement of how great of a guy he was. And so it's funny you ask that because I am curious what he's like. And I feel like from what I've heard, the movie didn't portray him really the way that he is. One thing I've tried not to do, and I don't get this vibe from Lane Frost at all, but with my dad, is I tried not to. My mom said one time that hindsight is not always 20/20. Everybody says hindsight's 20/20, and she said I don't think hindsight's 20/20. People tend to sometimes remember things better than they are, and so I try not to make a hero more so out of my dad than, I try not to talk about him as much just because I don't want to.
You should be. Your dad should be wearing a damn cape. It's just that's how it should be. I mean. I've never understood the part in a kid's life where he thinks that he could whip his dad's ass.
Yeah.
Like where he hates his dad. Like, I've never understood that.
Me neither.
Never understood it a bit because there's nothing that would ever change how much I love my dad.
Yeah, we definitely agree on that, and we have that in common. That was something.
Whenever your heroes are gone, you're never gonna remember the bad about. Obviously your hero. So it only builds bigger in your brain how great they were.
Yeah.
So it's something I'm not looking for.
Yeah, it's probably and the bad people probably get worse.
Yeah.
Maybe I can't think of anybody.
Yeah, in 100 years, they'll be like, that Rocker Steiner was an asshole.
Yeah. Yeah, that Dale Brisby. That Dale and Rocker, not that great of dudes.
No, terrible people. I heard Rocker stabbed a guy once.
Yeah. I do think about that. In 100 years, though, they probably won't say anything.
Mm-hmm. I always think it's funny.
We'll be forgotten.
I've always thought it's funny. Nolan Ryan has set every record in baseball. Pretty much every record's his record.
Yeah.
So, but I think it's crazy that whenever you bring up Nolan Ryan, you think of him punching Robbie Ventura in the head. It's just,
oh man,
it's just. I'm pretty sure it's Robbie Ventura.
Yes, definitely Ventura.
Anyway, I think it's funny that no matter how great you are, people are gonna remember. The one, everybody's gonna. I can win 27 gold buckles, and everybody's gonna remember. In 100 years, Rocker Steiner cussed out a judge and Thomas Mack, and then not really cussed out, just cussed.
I don't think so. I don't think that's the same. I get the point you're trying to make.
Remember that one time Rocker jumped off a roof?
No, I don't think that's it either. I don't. I get what you're trying to say.
What do I have to do to be remembered around here?
Yeah, but I don't think. Well, I don't know that those are derogatory enough to get you It's pretty easy for the general public. We're rodeo cowboys. We get passionate. We're gonna say a cuss word. It saying that it's part of our culture isn't an excuse between us and God for things that we may do. I don't think at some point we need to be held responsible. But if that's all they got on you is the fact that you said a cuss word after getting on a bucking horse,
it's not that bad.
Yeah, I got in trouble for sneaking into a rodeo.
I say in the locker room. God, I'd go to prison.
I got in trouble for sneaking into a rodeo once, and I just there, didn't do anything. Slapped a horse out, just there. And I saw a guy a couple years later, and it was weird because he was telling the story about me to this other person I had walked up with, but he was telling it as if I wasn't standing there. And he was telling it like I was just the worst human being in the world. And I was like, dude, if all you got at the end of my career is that I snuck into a rodeo, if that's what you got against me, I'll take it.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
And I'll take that. And the stuff that you've been, that you've just mentioned, yeah, dude, that's not. The Ventura thing is just badass.
Yeah, that's badass.
Because he freaking let him have it.
Yeah, the story behind that was one time a guy rushed the mound on Nolan, and Nolan thought that he got the best of him. Not bad, but he's And like he like promised himself if somebody ever rushes the mountain again, like he's gonna be the enforcer. And
Dang.
I was like, dude, I love this guy so much.
Yeah.
But
he's someone on my list, my short list of who I want on the podcast one day.
Yeah, my dad knows his sons pretty well.
Interesting.
Nolan, I'm not like a huge baseball like fan. Like I love baseball. Like I love playing it, but I don't watch a whole lot of baseball.
I don't either.
Nolan Ryan is like
I have
one of
over
my
100.
heroes.
I guarantee it's over 100 Nolan Ryan baseball cards.
He's such a stud. Like there's the coolest thing was whenever he came around, like he was so wild. Like they're like he throws hard, but you don't know where it's going. And it got to where like he could tame it, and then but every once in a while he'd get wild again and bean somebody over the head. And oh my god, he's so cool.
Another guy on my short list, and you guys, I wouldn't be surprised if you know him personally, but is George Strait.
Dad's met him a few times, but
yeah.
I've never
But
met him.
he said he doesn't do podcasts.
I don't. He's so much cooler.
He
if
does.
doesn't.
He has listened to a few of my podcasts. I've heard, but he's
That's cool enough. You made
for
it.
sure.
You
For
made
sure.
It, dude.
Yeah. No, it was like, yeah, mad respect. Like, yeah, if you don't, that's fine. I get it. What do you have to gain from going on a podcast? Anybody's podcast, like Joe Rogan. Like, what would, what would? It's not like he needs to sell a few more
They
records.
say Coulter Wall won't go on Joe Rogan.
He agreed to come on mine.
No way.
He did. Trying to line up the dates.
Joe Rogan ain't got nothing on the greatest writer of all time.
Uncle Joe. Yeah, I think it made Joe like him even more, though.
Yeah. It made me like him more. I was like, man, that's badass.
Yeah, I know it.
If you were like that big in your own head and like you're already like the star, like you believe that you're a star enough to where you don't have to go on Joe Rogan, I'm like,
Yeah, but I think the thing that Joe even respected about it was that he was going to like go do some ranching, and he wasn't going to skip that to go on a podcast. Yeah. I don't think it was necessarily that he was just like, I don't need you. At least I don't think that. Coulter Wall doesn't seem like the kind of guy that would ever.
I don't think that. I think Coulter Wall is big enough for Coulter Wall. I don't think he's seeking anything that.
Well, he's definitely probably doesn't want to trade something he's super passionate for more fame. He does seem like that type.
Yeah. Yeah, I like Coulter, but
he seems. I've never met him.
I haven't
he
either,
seems
but I'm
very
just saying I like his music, but
humble.
Yeah, I mean, if Joe Rogan was like, "Hey, you want to come on the podcast?" I'd be like, "What do I have to do?" Like,
yeah,
I don't know. I've thought about that. Like, because that's like a once in a lifetime opportunity. Like, if that ever happened, I'd be like, "Hey, can you call me back in like 5 years when I have more stories to tell?" Because I'm not cool enough to go on Joe yet.
No, you just go talk.
No,
you got plenty.
But yeah.
Have you had any?
I wish my granddad would go on Joe Rogan.
That would be dope.
Now that would be cool.
Yeah. How old is he now?
73.
Is he still barefoot water skiing?
Oh yeah.
Golly.
Yeah.
That is an inspiration.
Yeah. Have I ever told you how many push-ups he did in an hour?
No.
Like 3 years ago, or no, I bet it was like 6 or 7 years ago. I told him that there's this boxer that went to prison. It wasn't Mike Tyson. He went to prison, came out and like won some big fight or whatever. I can't remember the guy's name, but they asked him how he stayed in shape.
That movie? They made that movie about him? Denzel Washington played?
Maybe, I don't know. But they asked him how many, how'd you stay in shape? And he said, I got to where I could do like 1,400 push-ups in an hour.
Golly.
Well, I told Baba, and on his own time, he set a timer and did like 1,550.
Dude, I thought you were going to say 300.
No. So get this. So my Uncle Shane and Tim Kennedy, they were like, let's try it. So they did like 1,600 push-ups in an hour. Well, it pissed Baba off. Baba came back like 3 years later and did 1,750 push-ups in 1 hour.
No way.
Yeah. Yeah, it like I would say that he was like 69 years old at that time.
Dude, maybe 300. I don't know if I've done
1,750 push-ups in a week. I haven't done that in a month.
I haven't done that this year. I don't do a lot of push-ups.
Wild.
I haven't done that many this year, and it is September.
Yeah, we have to stop telling Baba about like records, like workout records, and Like this guy can do,
Dude, I cannot believe
2,000
that.
pull-ups in 48 hours.
Because 6 years ago, that would have put him at 67. At 67 years old.
Yeah. Yeah, we had to stop telling him about records like that because he'll go and try to beat them.
And he's 73
and
now.
He's sore for 3 months. He did so many push-ups, he thought he had a brain tumor.
Does he still have six-pack?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He'll go eat or something, and he won't eat as much. And I'm like, why are you not eating the mashed potatoes or whatever? Which he never eats mashed. I'm just making foods up. But Gigi will be like, he's saying that his stomach sticks out, and he's like shredded. I'm like, but what am I obese then?
Yeah.
What's happening?
Dang.
Yeah.
I want to be him at that age so bad.
I do too, but I don't think I'm cut out for it. I think I'm just gonna be in good shape. I don't think I can dedicate myself that much when I'm that old.
Yeah.
And he started at 40.
Whew. That's insane.
Yeah. I mean, 34 years of working out. I'm not even 21 yet.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
What made him start at 40? Was he out of shape?
Yeah, I don't think he was 40. He was 35 or something like that. And Gigi, my grandmother, made chicken fried steaks all the time. And he got to where he's eating these chicken fried steaks and drinking Dr. Pepper and Budweiser and Copenhagen and all the cowboy stuff, And I guess he just got out of shape and went to the doctor, and the doctor's like, hey, you're in horrible shape. You need to start thinking about, some exercise. And he's like, I'm out of shape. And then after that, it just
lit a fire under him.
Yeah, ate nothing but the best food and worked out all the time. And heck, he's been ripped since I've known him.
Dang.
So.
Yeah.
He's never had a fat day since I've been around.
Right.
He's never had. I mean, seriously, I bet he's at 3%, I'd say 4 or 5% body fat. Not even. I'd say 4, 3.
I believe it.
Crazy.
I believe it.
I'm at probably 11.
Yeah.
And I'm not fat.
Yeah. I think Carson, what are you at? 22, 23?
It doesn't even matter at this point.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, he's a freak of nature. My uncle's in really good shape too. So is my dad. There's nobody in my family that's out of shape.
You been rolling a lot?
Not as much as I want to since I've been gone. But whenever I was home in the winter, I'm pretty much 4 or 5 days a week.
Have you trained enough to have a belt? Do you know what belt you?
I mean, I wouldn't say I went 4 or 5 days a week. I don't go and because I would go in for every day of the week, and then the next week I would go in once or something.
With no gi?
I like no gi way more.
Yeah.
And that's another thing is if it's gi, I'll go probably once a week in a gi, but I don't know. I like no gi way more. It's hot. It's so hot.
It does get hot.
It gets so hot.
But
whenever I go down to Austin with Tim and Shane, if it's gi day, I'm throwing on a gi for sure.
Yeah.
But if I'm here and it's gi day, I'm I'm gonna go hunting.
Do you feel like you might be at a blue belt level? Do you know?
Sometimes I think I'm good enough for no, I don't think so. A blue belt, I've tapped a couple of blue belts, but I think they're just letting me
Letting you work.
No, I don't think so. I definitely tapped them, but
yeah,
I would if I went in tomorrow and they gave me a blue belt, I would be like,
yeah.
Can you give me that?
How do you guys scale this system?
Yeah, what is this, karate?
How are you guys making these decisions?
Yeah, no, I don't think I'm good enough for a blue belt, but
yeah,
I'm good enough for the average person for sure.
Yeah,
I think everybody should go take 2 weeks at jiu-jitsu.
Right.
I think that should be a common.
I think it needs to be more than that because
well,
it took me 3 months before I even started enjoying it.
Mm-hmm.
I did maybe longer than that. But
if you go in 2 weeks, you're better than the average person who doesn't grapple.
Yeah.
Maybe more than that. Say a month. If you go in for a month, every day of the week, you're gonna know more things than the average person that doesn't know anything. Yeah,
a month, 5 days a week is for sure. We usually average between 2 and 4 rolls
it's
a week.
It's a workout too. If all you did was grapple every day, like that Mikey Musumeci, you seen him?
Yeah. It's going to take me a few more years, though. I mean, you suggested before we started the podcast that I do what Bradley Martin does on his, and I challenged my, and I need a few more years of jiu-jitsu. before I start.
Definitely. I think you could beat Cowboy, though.
Yeah, for sure. He's so old.
All you'd have to do is, maybe not now that he has hair.
Yeah, just pull his hair.
Yeah.
I
think I could take Cowboy.
It's been super cool the few times we've had him in the gym when we roll. Getting his
He's
mindset.
So good. They say his jiu-jitsu is like world class. Like I've asked Tim Kennedy, and he's like, he's really good.
We were, so Cowboy would come to the house to get on bulls, obviously. And, well, we were rolling every morning. And so he would come in there. He does not like to teach. And, but I'm teaching him bull riding. And so he didn't mind teaching me, jiu-jitsu. And, our instructor is a blue belt, and Cowboy, I kind of asked him about what he thought of something, and he was talking about the triangle, and he was like, and then you can come over here and fake this omoplata, or if it's there, and my instructor interrupted, and he's like, well, I'm not ready to do omoplatas yet. And I was like, no. Cowboy just said that a triangle is his favorite. We're definitely going to do that today. And I felt bad for disagreeing with my instructor, but I was like, if you only understood how few times Cerrone will speak up and teach, like he is now the teacher for the day. And I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings, and so we got to learn a triangle.
Whenever I was at his house, he was trying to teach us omoplata, and I wasn't flexible enough at the time. Like I kept cramping up, like, when you sit in 90-90, like throw a hand over the hip. Like I wasn't. He was like, "You were the most athletic person I've ever met in my life." And I was like, "Dude, I'm just my tip's tight."
Dude, he told us that, which I just remembered this. We need to go back and get the clip and clip it. But the hardest he's ever been hit by anyone in any fight is Ross Coleman when they showed up.
Says,
and they were sparring. He says that's the hardest he's ever been hit.
That's wild.
Can you believe that?
Ross is a big guy, and he's tough, too.
Also, Cowboy's been in a lot of street fights because he's been arrested 50 times for fighting. Cowboy.
No.
Yes, sir. 49. He's been arrested 49 times because he had to write, when he went to Canada, he had to write out why he got each time. 48 of them were for fighting. One of them was for evading arrest. He's been arrested, handcuffed 48 times for fighting. So imagine how many times he didn't get caught. Because he told me once when we first started hanging out, I was like, how many street fights you been in? And he's like, I don't know, a few hundred. And I thought he was just saying it. Like we all say that. Like, I've seen Lonesome Dove 100 times. Well, no, you haven't. It's probably more like 18, which is a lot.
I would feel like...
But when he said a couple hundred, I was like, okay, he probably doesn't mean that. But he was arrested. How many times do you think he didn't get caught? If he got caught 1 out of 4 times, that's 200 street fights. If he got caught 1 out of 5 times,
wow, I'm not messing with the Cowboy.
250.
Do not mess with Cowboy
That's
Cerrone.
what I'm saying.
That's the moral of this podcast. Do not mess with Cowboy Cerrone.
And then you got guys that are talking about like I know of certain individuals, and I met them that think they can beat him up.
No.
Because outside the octagon is different. And it's like, dude, it's not different.
Especially the Cowboy today. Like the Cowboy today is like 50 pounds bigger.
Yeah.
Like it ain't happening.
It just doesn't. Dude, smaller Cowboy. It doesn't matter. Like we were talking earlier, like Nate Diaz and that conversation we were having, like these guys, like when you get to black belt level of jiu-jitsu, like Cowboy, like it is for them, I can imagine rolling someone up in a omoplata is similar to us putting on our shoes. And that's probably like he could be admiring what your t-shirt graphic is while he's breaking your arm.
Yeah.
Like it would just be that casual for him,
Yeah, them fighters,
But I do agree, I can take him. I do think I could take him.
It would be close, but I think you could get the better half of him.
Yeah.
Now, I think you could win if his like hands are tied behind his back, so are his legs, and his mouth is taped.
If he's got both his legs, his legs are tied too.
Yeah.
I got a chance. If you tie his mouth, his hands and his legs together.
Yeah, maybe. But like in the back, because if they're tied in the front, he could still choke you.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
but other than
You've
that,
been knowing him since you were a kid.
yeah, 13. I was at X Games, ran into Douglas Duncan, and he was with
Double
him.
D.
Yeah,
I forget that they're buddies.
yeah, through the Monster crew.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, so we were at X Games, and we were gonna go on the boat the next day, and we're like, they found out or something. They came and hung out with us, and we went on the boat, and
He does love to be on a boat.
yeah, and Cowboy's like, "You got bunk beds?" And I was like, "No, I don't got bunk beds." He's like, "Okay, well, I'm staying with you tonight."
Yeah.
He didn't
Yeah.
stay with me. That would have been so weird. God, now that I think about this, did my dad even love me? Like, we didn't
Wow.
know that guy.
You didn't. Yeah, I don't know. You might need to
I'm
talk to
glad
your dad.
Cowboy Cerrone did not stay in my bed when I was 13. That would have been weird.
That would have been weird. Yeah.
I could have taken him at 13, though.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. You're wiry. I've heard that about you. Have you been in any fights?
No.
Never been in a fight?
Nope.
None that you can remember, at least?
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Kind of forgot about them.
Yeah.
Just can't think of anything.
Can't think of anything I've ever done,
Sorry,
honestly.
Dale. I'd love to give you a juicy story here, but just don't got it.
Yeah. No, I mean, I've done my share of just being a kid, but, nothing crazy. No 400 fights like Cowboy, but.
We were talking about, I was talking to Trevor about rodeo. He mentioned rodeo will humble you. Has there been a time this year that rodeo has humbled you? I guess maybe Virgil.
I wouldn't say that like rodeo has humbled me. I would just say that like I don't even know what I would say. Like just everything's humbled me. Like I would say rodeo's definitely humbled me. I mean, there's been a lot of things that humbled me. Relationships, rodeo, just messing up, and I've messed up a lot, and nobody's told me that I've messed up, but I know that I mess up. Like, I hold myself accountable more than anybody knows, because, I'll be winning rodeos and be like, I need to get better. Like, this isn't, something's off. Like, I might be winning rodeos, but I still need to get better. Like, a lot of stuff humbles me. I mean, I'm a lot more humble now than I was when I was a kid, and, but, the thing, like, I've messed up a lot. I've done stupid stuff, but I can't hold myself. I can't hate myself for that, because at the time it was what I thought was right, and so I got to respect myself enough to never. I've never done anything that I would take back, just because at the time I thought it was the right thing to do, and
yeah.
So I've paid every price that I had to, but like. The Reno deal, like I took my suspension, went home, came back, and was fine. Like, I've never evaded I don't even know what I'm trying to say, but anything I had coming to me, I took.
Roll with the punches.
Yeah. So, but at the time, like Reno, NFR, everything, jumping off a roof. At the time, I thought it was the right thing to do. So
yeah. Do you feel like your NFR? This will be your third.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like you'll treat after the performance and into the night any different?
Oh yeah.
You will?
Oh yeah. My first year I was out of control. Very out of control. I mean, how can you not be out of control in Vegas at 18 years old? I say like this is like 20 years ago,
Yeah.
I'm talking about myself like this 20 years in the future.
Well, it's a lot of miles ago. We established that at the beginning.
Exactly.
Like
Yeah,
it's not that's
that
a lot of
long ago.
miles.
But I've been to hundreds of rodeos since then. Been on hundreds of horses, like been through. I wouldn't say I've been through a lot, but I've been through some stuff in the last couple of years.
You've been through enough that you've got a different perspective.
Yeah, exactly. But 18 years old in Vegas, running around, being wild, like even 19. God, that's weird. I've almost me being 18 and making my first finals seems like it was last year.
Yeah.
But like this year, like I'll hang out with my friends, then I'm going to bed, and I'll party after I get a gold buckle.
There you go.
But, like after round wins and stuff, like you got to think about it. Like you went around, like you're celebrating, you're happy, drinking, partying.
South Point.
Why? It's not over. What's there to celebrate?
Yeah.
You know, like that's my thinking. Like this year, like if I win a round, like okay, won one round.
Yeah.
Why are you celebrating? It's not over.
Right.
So like that's kind of my thinking this year is like whenever I left home, this year I left home and I pretty much made it a point to like I'm here for one thing and one thing only. I'm not here to make friends. I'm not here to, party. I'm not here to have fun. I'm here to rodeo and I'm here to win a world buckle, and that's what I'm doing this year. And I mean, like, this is the first year that I've really, held myself to that.
So you've kind of exercised that same thought process throughout the year. Like after Calgary and stuff, we had some fun, but I mean, I was also off for like 5 or 6 days after that. Like that's kind of time, but like me and Cole and Waylon, like if we did get at a rodeo, we got in the truck and went to the next one. And so, obviously I had fun this year. Like it's not over, but obviously like we had fun, but it wasn't like every year before. I'm like, I'm ready to get to this rodeo, ride, and then I'm ready to go hang out after. Like that was like kind of my thing. Like this year, it's like, why? It's like, why celebrate a winning a rodeo? The year isn't over. Mm-hmm. You don't have a gold buckle. So, and like another thing, like it sucks whenever you go to Vegas and you are doing good, and then all of a sudden you're out of the average, and the next thing you know, it's the 10th round, and you're in the locker room, and you're not the world champion. That sucks. Mm-hmm. That's like, and like, what's crazy to me is like, it bothers everybody if they don't win the world. Like, everybody's upset about it. Obviously, like, we're all after the same thing. The problem is there's only one of them a year. So, I think in the locker room, like, both years whenever it's over, it's like, it's kind of bothered me. Yeah.
So like this year, it's like I'm not leaving without one.
Yeah.
So yeah, and like I mean, if you look at the standings, like I'm having a way better year this year than I have.
Right.
So it's obviously something's working.
Yeah, I remember it was either last year or the year before, but me and Cowboy were doing something, and you called, and you're like, "Get over here to this party bus," and it wasn't all that late. No. It wasn't. I mean, it was like, after the rodeo, maybe 11 o'clock, So, like, for all I know, you might have gone to bed by midnight. Yeah, but
I didn't. I remember that night. I did not.
But
like, I mean, the sad thing is, like, I had a chance to do something that nobody ever did my first year, and then I jumped off a roof. I was stupid. That really didn't make my finals any better. Because, like, my first finals, like, nobody really knew, but my feet still, like, weren't right.
Yeah.
And I'm not making excuses, like, I shouldn't have jumped off a roof, for one. But, like I look at my riding, and I was like, man, I just wasn't all there. And last year at the finals, I rode good. I was thinking I was riding really good, but I had some horses that kind of, like, took my, like, almost, like, discouraged me. Mm-hmm. And I almost got more discouraged than anything. Like, the first 2 rounds, riding really good. Third round, got on horse not that great. And then it really just, like, killed my mood.
Yeah.
And, like, that's, like, the biggest thing is, like, the Vegas is hard because you don't realize how much rodeo there is.
Oh, man.
There's so much. So, like, if you do bad one day, it's like I was like, fuck, it's over,
Yeah.
So, but it's not over. So, like, this year, it's like, it's not over until it's over.
Well, I've heard guys talk about, like, not wanting to change up how they rodeoed, but also, like, how many rodeos during the year, how many times during the year do you get on 10 bucking horses of that caliber in a row for 10 days? Mm-hmm. And that's not replicated. Maybe you get on 2 or 3, if you like Pendleton, like, Friday, and then if you make the short go, that they're going to be pretty back to back.
Yeah.
But
the Vegas,
you don't have 10.
You're getting on the best horses in the world 10 days in a row. Like, we are getting, like, in the month of July, we're getting on, 40 horses in a row. But also, like, nobody understands, like, the whole year, you might get on 4 or 5 eliminators.
That's what I'm saying.
Most horses you're getting on are going to be pretty nice. Like,
And is the E-Pen y'all's second night? Third night?
Third
and then,
and eighth.
Yeah. And well, yeah, so then you're going to get on one of the top eliminators in the world. Then a night or two later, you're getting on a TV pin horse, like
exactly.
Virgil.
Mm-hmm.
So you could get on an eliminator and then Virgil.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's tough, man.
All I'm saying is I could see why a guy may want to tone it down in Vegas. That's all I'm saying.
You know, like, I mean, every time I won a round, I was like, you know, let's celebrate. But my thinking now is, why celebrate? It's not over.
Yeah, but it's got to be impossible. Your first round win.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Not to,
it's pretty.
Those round buckles are
Honestly,
so cool.
My first round I ever won, I didn't even party that night. I went to the room.
Really?
All the other nights, apparently, I was drinking my sorrows away. I don't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
But the one night I won, I didn't even go out.
It was just one of those nights that it
Yeah, I
ended
was
up
like, I want to go. I was like, man, I'm winning the damn world. Which I was probably like 10th in the world at that time.
Dude, guess how many raccoons I shot last night?
Raccoons? 10.
In the attic.
10.
9.
I was close.
9 raccoons.
Why'd you shoot the raccoons?
Because they're in my attic.
Why don't you just, I don't know.
It's the attic of the barn, but
Have you
still.
ever had a pet raccoon?
No, these wouldn't have been pets, man.
Dude, I had
the
a
noises
pet
these bucks were making. They've been eating my total feeds for a long time, and I've been trying to find them. And I even go out there at night and look for them. But finally, I found them. I heard the little pitter patter.
If you ever have a pet raccoon, you can never shoot a raccoon again.
Really?
It's impossible.
Well, y'all don't think less of me, but they're a varmint. They're invasive. They tear stuff up. They're eating all my feed.
I have shot raccoons, obviously, and I mean, like, if we're hanging out and they want to go, my buddies want to go coon shooting, I'm down.
I'm not gonna lie, it was the most fun I've had in maybe a month. I don't know. I'd say the last month. I'm not gonna say the year or my life,
I can just see him just like leaning around the corner in his attic with a 308 and a thermal.
No, it was a 22, but yeah, what was when they leaned around the corner, because they're like, some of them were sleeping, they didn't wake up, but dude, they're in the attic. I gotta
you're just blasting off rounds in the attic? Do you have holes in your ceiling?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah, and then so it's a there was sheetrock, you know, and then the studs, the joists, whatever, and this joker fell through. He was filming. One of them came at us, dude. They were attack raccoons. All right, these were not friendly raccoons, and came at Carson. He started screaming and fell through the sheetrock, but thankfully he split with his legs, split the ceiling joist or whatever. And, so it racked him pretty good, but he didn't fall to the ground. And I was, like, shooting around. Like, man, I muzzled him. Like, I what's it called? Waved him. Like, flashed him with my barrel. It was a bad deal. It was unsafe.
God.
But it was so fun.
Were these, like suicide raccoons?
Huge. No, most of them just, like I said, they just went to sleep for longer.
What do they call the bombers?
A couple of them came.
What do they call the bombers? Japanese bombers?
Suicide bombers. Yeah, they weren't suicide bombers, but one or two was, and came by us, and I had to chase them down outside to a different attic. It's a big barn. And they
this isn't your house.
No.
Okay, I'm imagining this in like above like.
No, it's a big barn next to our house, and it was. I felt like SEAL Team 6 in there, like trying to get Osama bin Laden.
It's from hanging out with Tim.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what it was. Tim would take that serious. He'd probably have like his nods on and stuff. And
that's what I needed. Yeah, we had white light, is what Tim would call it. Yeah. They stay asleep though, even with the loud bang, so you don't need a suppressor.
Wait, actually?
Yeah. No, like dude, like drop one or two over here. There's like 4 in the corner just asleep. Like they didn't really care.
Well, they should have. Yeah. They're dead.
Yeah, they definitely don't care now. I don't care about anything.
We had a pet raccoon. One of my dad's friends found it. And they're great little pets. Whenever you have one, it's like you see a raccoon in a tree and you're like, I wish I could find your babies.
I feel like a nice raccoon would be a nice raccoon.
Oh, they're the best.
But like a wild raccoon that's an adult,
They're meaner and shit.
I don't know, man. I don't know. They gotta go. You gotta go, man.
Well, if
can't
they're in your
relocate
house,
you.
it's like,
Gotta go.
all right. I had a, so this is a little door right here by my fridge. It goes down to like pretty much like my attic, and there's like that room where all my drums and stuff are. And there's a bunch of barn cats around here. Well, when the wind blows, it blows through underneath my house, up into that room, and it blows this door open.
Wow.
Well, it blew this door open, and I woke up, and there's a fucking barn cat in my house. Well, okay, so actually, back up. I kept finding shit in my house.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is this? There's shit in my house. What is this? So I'd like clean it up, and then I go downstairs, and there's more shit. Well, I wake up one day, and I hear something running around, and I was like, what is in my house? And I wake up, and there's a black cat up here. And I went to like get it. This thing was meaner than shit. I mean, this thing was like a mini cougar.
God.
Not like a cougar you find at the bar.
Yeah, not the good kind. Not the good kind.
Bad
that take care of you, and they hold you, and
what?
They not that kind. Yeah, the other kind, the mean kind. Oh. Sorry.
Anyway,
Sorry.
Yeah, cat in my house, couldn't get it out. It sucked.
They feed you.
I definitely didn't think about shooting it though.
Yeah. They teach you how to do your taxes.
I need a cougar.
Sorry. What were we talking about?
Cougars?
Yeah, there it is. But you do or you don't have a girlfriend?
I don't have a girlfriend.
You want one?
No, not really.
Yeah.
Girls suck, dude.
Yeah. They're mean.
They're vicious.
You need a cougar.
I need
that'll take care of you.
If there's any cougars out there with about 5,000 acres, nobody hunts it. Let me know.
In the definition of cougar, do they have to have a child? Do they have kids? Does cougars have kids?
That's a MILF.
Okay. Yep. You're right. Yep. Maybe that's what I'm mistaking it for. Yeah. So you want a non-childbearing cougar. It's okay if she has a kid.
It doesn't matter.
You need to teach somebody how to ride bareback horses. You don't mind if she has a kid.
Yeah. No. No. That sounds terrible.
Yeah, single. We'll just go with that.
I'm tunnel vision right now. I don't need any distraction.
World title.
Yeah.
We don't want any women. Nobody DM this man. Nobody
Do
DM,
not DM me.
Mr. Steiner.
I will respond.
Because he is here for bareback riding only. He's married to the game.
I am married to the game. My Reagan is my girlfriend. She's vicious sometimes.
You get on any practice horses anymore?
No, I'll get on some before the finals, but I'm not craving to get on practice horses for free.
Yeah.
If I ride, I like to get paid. It's
sometime in November, though, you'll get on a few?
Yeah, for sure.
How many?
Probably get on 6 or 7.
67?
6 or 7.
Does your dad still have horses? I mean, y'all probably still got a
we
pretty
sold
good...
a lot of them to Pete.
Yeah.
Pete has a lot of our horses.
Y'all lost my number or what? You didn't want to call me?
Well, we didn't know.
You didn't want to call me?
You want some Colts? I got a bunch of Colts.
No, I don't need any Colts.
You can have them.
Yeah, they do give those away, don't they? Yeah. No, I've been in that. I've been in your shoes there.
Yeah, you can have them. They're messing up my hunting.
I need a maybe one hopper.
One hopper?
Yeah, I'm looking for a bronc. I'm always in the market, but I don't know.
heard Virgil's for sale.
I don't know that I can afford him.
He's not for sale, but
I'm also looking for a bull. I need a bull.
You're not gonna find any here. I hate bulls. Dude,
I went to the sale barn yesterday to sell 2 practice bulls that got to where they stopped.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them was 1,000-pound, like longhorn looking, had longhorns, painted up, brought $1,300, which I felt like was pretty good. Then another brindle bull, he weighed 1,600. Tony, he brought $2,500. And I was like, you know what? I don't think I need my herd bulls because I keep all my heifers, and so I need like new genetics. And so I was going to get rid of them anyway. And so I went back to the house, sold these 2 Black Angus R.A. Brown bulls. One of them weighed 2,000. The other one weighed 1,600. The 1,600 brought $2,600. The 2,000-pound bull brought $3,600 at the sale barn.
Damn.
I got 10 grand for 4 bulls.
It's not bad.
Is that not
I
crazy?
don't know much about cattle, but that sounds pretty good to me.
What are you laughing at? What is so funny? Dude, I'm just telling an interesting story about the sale barn. There's nothing to brag about. Huh? He really didn't think it was interesting.
I did think it was interesting. It's crazy. The market's up.
That the market's up. That's what that story's about. I got 2 herd bulls. That's not that impressive. Yeah, but if I can't just say the market's up, and then if you put a number on it, people are like, wow, the market's up. They're not going to just, you know what?
I think they're just laughing at the hat. That's all.
What's wrong with my hat? What the heck's wrong with my hat? I wore my normal one. I feel like everybody's coming at me. While I was in there going to the bathroom, did y'all like make a plan? Like,
Dude,
we're going to come to Dale.
When your piss hits the urinal, it sounds feminine.
That was a thick, beady stream. Like, it looked like a yellow rope. That's what that was.
You know what movie that's from? The Other Guys?
Is it? Yeah.
The sound of your piss hitting the urinal, it sounds feminine.
Yeah. Well, that wasn't this. Maybe I do have some of those, but it wasn't this one. Dude, the cattle market money is like, I got 2 herd bulls, okay? That's not worth bragging about. Shut up, Ty. Stop pointing at Rocker. You guys are the ones giggling over there like I'm some kind of asshole.
I didn't say it.
All 3 of y'all said it. Pretty
said
much.
it with our eyes.
I have sat here for 2 full hours and talked about how good of a bareback rider I think Rocker Steiner is.
I've never.
I say one number about a herd bull I sell, and you guys tell me that I'm arrogant.
Well, everybody here knows you're the greatest rancher alive. So.
And the most humble. I want that on record.
Me too. At this point, me too. I think I am like the most humble guy in the PRCA.
Yeah, definitely. Me and you both. We're at least the top 2.
Yeah. You don't really go to many rodeos anymore.
Well, if they'll add enough money, I'm there, baby.
Yeah,
also, y'all don't have bulls here, so why would I come to the... I need to spur some bull meat. I keep it 90. Otherwise, I'd enter the rigging rally.
I told Wasey Shaw the other day, I'm about to start riding bulls, and I'm coming for his title.
Yeah.
But when Stetson comes back, I'll throw away my bull rope.
Stetson's... Does it make you a little nervous whenever he got on a bareback horse at my house?
No. He would suck.
He rode his first one pretty good.
Yeah. Whatever. No. Dude, if Stetson did ride bareback horses, I do believe that he'd figure it out.
Yeah.
I definitely do. That'd be wild. I'm so glad he doesn't. And he should be glad I don't own a bull rope.
Yeah.
He should thank my Gigi.
Yeah.
She would never let me on a bull.
So suck it. Stetson. And Ty and Carson.
What did he do?
I thought y'all were in my corner.
What? They're just laughing at you.
I know. A little too excessively.
You're just really good at comedy.
Yeah. Maybe that's it.
Yeah. You should go to Joe Rogan's comedy club and just talk about...
I went there with Tim, actually.
Did you?
Yeah, I took Tim.
You should get up there and just talk about the sale barn.
Yeah.
I think it's hilarious.
You know what? I don't even know if we're going to put this episode out anymore.
I'm kidding.
I didn't know that y'all were just going to attack Dale Brisby. I thought it was interesting that, you know what?
I haven't heard of bulls going for that much in a long time.
I'm sorry. I just got ranch fuel all over. I'm sorry.
Dude, if you would,
I got carried away. I just threw that. We all cleaned that up.
So if you blue lighted this house, that's
ranch fuel would be the least of our worries.
Best thing in here. Dude, I after like the Reagan rally and stuff, I'd have parties in here, and I'd wake up and this place would smell.
When are you gonna have another one here? Reagan rally.
Never, but it smelled like that Tito's bottle got poured everywhere in here. I didn't have any, but everybody of age did.
I didn't have any.
Yeah, I was drinking water.
Well, Pendleton, then what?
I go to Albuquerque, then Pendleton, and then Mandan, and then Sioux Falls. And then, dude, if I do good at all those.
What's in Mandan?
New deal, I guess, is like 60,000 added.
No way.
It's crazy.
Rough stock only?
I don't know.
What's the deal?
I don't know.
Is it the same arena as their 4th of July?
I don't know. I don't
Who's got it?
Dakota, I believe.
Dakota. Nice.
I believe, yeah.
What else do we need to plug of yours? What do people need to do? Just follow you on Instagram?
Yeah, follow me on Instagram if you already don't.
Girls, don't DM him. He ain't got time for it.
I'll make time.
Don't worry. There's not a lot of girls listening to this podcast. Definitely not this far into it.
No.
It's like 14 dudes that currently rodeo, and then a bunch of old dudes that say they used to rodeo back when they bucked. And
pretty much.
And then my mom.
You're pushing like what, 55, 60 now?
Bro, I'm thinking about entering the bareback riding at them rodeos with you.
Dude, you should.
You only got a 3-man buddy group right now. There's room for me. Don't tempt me. I still got Clint Cannon's rigging in my...
You should crack it out. There's enough hoppers, I believe it. You can do it.
It's an over-under, but I don't care.
Mm-hmm. I don't either.
I'll barehand it.
I think there's a few horses out there that I could actually barehand. I think that's my toxic trait.
That you think that, or that you can do that?
Yeah, like Fireman of Legacies.
Yeah.
I think I could do it. Like just main hold.
Yeah.
Maybe not main hold. You just slide up on their ears, but like just hand and rigging, I think I could do it.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Dude, I don't want no part of bareback riding.
I don't want any part of saddle bronc riding. This looks terrible. Looks so much fun, but I think I'd go right out the front and get stepped on.
Yeah.
For time.
I'm not saying I'd ride every bronc, but I would put my saddle on any bronc and at least try.
You're really good at warming up your bull rope.
Yeah, the best. I can do that really well. I can also ride them. I'm not appreciating the end of podcast sass that's coming out of not only the guest but the cameraman.
Oh
it's
my
you.
God.
You are contagious, my man. Your sass has carried over to these other two.
Hey, my mouth has got me in a lot of problems.
Yeah,
as you can tell.
What's the biggest problem it's gotten you into?
Just the finals, probably.
Yeah,
but
that's,
I mean,
like I said, that's not bad.
It's one fine. $3,500.
We usually wrap these up with life advice.
Why would anybody ask me for life advice?
I don't know, but if they did, what would you tell them?
First off, I would tell them not to listen to Rocker Steiner.
Yeah.
But if they happen to want to listen, I would say don't care what anybody thinks. Hey, you got one life, live it. So
yeah.
At the end of the day, people are gonna say what they want, good or bad. So don't care. It's smoke and mirrors. It doesn't matter. So I don't think anybody has ever been on their deathbed going, man, that one guy talking shit about me. That pisses me off. And nobody's ever said that. So Stop caring what people think.
Do you look at the comments?
Yeah, I love it.
Like if you saw one on there, like right now, it wouldn't affect you?
I'd probably just like go to the gym or something. No,
so,
it's just like, I don't know, sometimes I'll get on, like if somebody posts something and there's a bunch of comments on it, I'll read it. And like sometimes I'll just keep scrolling past the good ones. I'm like, where are the bad ones?
Yeah.
I'll like look for the bad ones. There for a while, like there was nothing. Like nobody said it. Like there for a while, like haters kind of went away. It seemed like it kind of made me sad. I miss them. I don't know what I have to do. Maybe I might be turning into too good of a guy.
The thing that will get somebody blocked in my comments, like I don't even think twice about it, takes me no time, is if they talk crap on one of my guests because of like just...
Well, get that block button ready because it's coming, buddy.
Yeah.
Hearing about how whenever you release this.
Not as many as... I mean, like I just had Rob O'Neill on, the guy that shot Osama bin Laden. Yeah. And like, dude, it was so kind of him to give me the time of day, much less travel and be on my podcast. And he's a great dude, and he did so much for the country. And, you know, there's not that many people that did it, but a few people, just headline readers that want to think that he didn't.
Yeah, it's crazy to even talk.
But I just block.
Yeah, it's crazy that people would even talk about, you know, anybody that served this country. Especially of that caliber, you know, Chris Kyle, You know, I've been seeing stuff online, people saying stuff about him, and and sometimes like I'll read Tim Kennedy's posts, and like there's guys that, like, I'm like, why would you say anything about these people? I mean, they're like, without them, we're not free. So
yeah,
it's if you want to, you know, not be able to believe what you believe, and you know your wife's not allowed to show her skin or do anything.
there you go.
Let's talk bad about them, because that's the reason we get to see girls in bikinis are because them. So.
No kidding. Well, that is great advice. Don't care about what people think. So I appreciate your time, man. That's your most valuable
thank
asset.
You for coming out. It's great to be on here again. It's nice to be able to get my opinions and stuff out every once in a while.
Well, I am a huge fan of the entire Steiner family. I always have been, and it's easy for me to be in your corner. So
I appreciate that. Thank you.
I don't think there'll be that many people make negative comments, but if they do, they'll get blocked.
Negative comments are like welcome. If you guys are,
maybe I'll leave them just long enough for you to read them, and then I'll block them.
Yeah, please say what you want. Please, I love it.
See, I'm gonna forget that you said this, and by the time the podcast comes out, people are gonna like be just joking around, and they're gonna get their ass blocked.
Oh, like my thing is like people would be like, "That Rocker Steiner's a bad person." I'm like, I feel like I'm a pretty good guy.
Yeah.
So
like it's relative, you know. Like what are we talking here, you know?
Rocker Steiner's a bad person. He cussed in the arena and stabbed somebody.
Dude, I cuss. Everybody cusses. Everybody cusses. Every rodeo cowboy does. I guarantee
think it's
that.
hard to trust somebody that doesn't cuss, because I don't know what you really want to say.
Yeah. I probably would still be able to trust someone who didn't cuss.
Oh, I do. I am.
But I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
But like, I definitely towed it down around like kids and
Yeah.
Sometimes it's
it's
hard.
When you are there's nothing in life, in my opinion, for me the life I've lived. Let me be more specific. There's nothing in the life that I've lived that I've had to be more aggressive towards than bareback riding. Like I've done all the rough stock events, and I've done a few things outside of the rodeo arena that were relatively high speed, whatever, extreme you might call it, whatever. And nothing compares to bareback riding. The level of fight you have to ride a bareback horse is out of this world. And for you to do it at the elite level that you do, you're at the NFR and you're getting on the most elite bucking horses there are, and you just got off of that horse, the amount of adrenaline and the passion and the time and the miles and all that running through your veins, for somebody to throw rocks at someone who says a cuss word after that level of fight, they just have no idea. They have no idea.
The thing about it is there's guys, bareback riders, that are like the most soft-spoken people. Like
Bill Tudor
wouldn't hurt a fly, and they get on a bareback horse and they get off, and they're a different person in the arena. You can't hold someone accountable for what they do in the arena, because really that's a different person than you are outside of
their own mother. That's what my dad used to say about bareback riding. Your own mother shouldn't recognize you in that shoot when you're about to nod. You should turn into a completely different person that you don't want your mom to see.
Yeah.
That was what my old man, who I believe to be like a mixture of John Wayne and Billy Graham, the Billy Graham version of in my life, told me, go to a place where your mom won't recognize you to ride bareback horses. Not bronc riding, not bull riding, not bullfighting, but bareback specifically. Anyway, I got the utmost respect for bareback riders, and always have. And so when you guys go hard in the paint, like whatever you got to do, kind of like Tim Kennedy's, I guarantee you when he's in the fight, there's no telling what kind of cuss words are.
And you know, like you can't really, like another thing, like everybody is so competitive. That's at the finals. Everybody is so competitive. Like you can't, and every bareback rider is, like everybody that rodeos is very, very competitive. And like whenever you get off and your blood's flowing and you pretty much got out of a straight up fight, like you're going to say things whenever you're upset that you wouldn't say normally. And, you know, I've said things that I wouldn't say just outside the bucking shoots. But I'm a different person in there. Everybody is.
Yeah.
You're not the same guy. Now I've learned how to as soon as I get off, I can be normal again. But there's sometimes I can't hold it back.
Mm-hmm.
And I've definitely toned it down. But I'll.
Yeah, I get where they're going with it. Like, if you want to find somebody, whatever. Like, if we need to have rules, because, yeah, I'm not saying that, like, we should all be able to just walk over to Katie Kaufman to get interviewed after and just, make it R-rated. That's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is, if that's the worst you got on a guy, that's doing pretty dang good.
If football players didn't have helmets on,
yeah, exactly.
you would you'd have and they find like that, you'd have a lot of broke football players.
Right. Yeah.
Like Deion Sanders. What?
Right.
Yeah, he would have. But I mean, you got to have that. You have to. I mean, but we don't have helmets on.
Right.
Bull riders can get away with it a little. Have you ever heard of bull rider like come back into the chute after they just got bucked off? Oh my God.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, man, I wouldn't even say that.
Filthiest language. Bull riders have the filthiest language. You guys want to point fingers at Rocker? Point them at bull riders. Yeah, we're talking to you, Cody Teal. Your dirt. Okay, maybe not
And
Cody
J.B.
Teal.
Mooney.
That Cody Teal is like Bill Herbert too. Bill Tudor, just the nicest human beings in the world. Sage Newman. Sage Newman may not cuss. Does he have? I don't know that I've ever heard him say a cuss word.
Oh my God. Sage
Newman
we're gonna
might.
need you to come on the podcast and cuss one time.
He might be an angel. Like he might be
He was
just
sent
like
from God.
He might be sent here from God to be just the nicest human in the world. Yeah, that's the dream team there.
Yeah.
Bill Tudor, Sage Newman, and Cody
Rocker
Teal.
Steiner and
Bears,
Brisby.
Bronx, Bulls. Yeah, put us on a different team. They'll be the dream team, and we'll put us on a different team.
Yeah.
The ones that with haters. Those three don't have haters.
Yeah, can we just do like a hater party? Just invite all our
haters
over.
only. Hey, before we wrap this up, I know we've almost wrapped it up, but speaking of you and Jaco, who won the fight?
With who?
You and Jaco.
Me.
Well, we never saw any footage. We only saw stills, and it looked like you were going to land a hook.
Oh,
Has the video come out yet? Has it been released?
No video, but he said his ear was ringing for a while.
He said it's still ringing right now to this day.
Should we call him?
You call him. Call him up. See if he'll answer. Don't tell him he's on a podcast.
Yo. Just so you know, you are on a podcast.
Okay, got it.
Did Rocker beat you? Did Rocker beat you in y'all's sparring match?
No,
No?
not even close.
Not even close, he says. Well, that's not what Rocker said. I just want you to know.
Well, I will clarify that he got a good old-fashioned ass whooping from his little buddy Jaco.
Did he? Okay. Jaco says that he won. Well, he says there's no video footage and that maybe we should have a rematch.
There was video footage. He deleted it.
No,
Oh, the plot thickens.
in Utah?
In Utah?
No, not that time.
No.
There's been a lot of instances where I whooped him good.
Maybe you got me in Utah. Is that what you're saying, Jaco?
No, he didn't get me there.
No. Okay.
All right, we'll set a rematch up then.
All right, we're going to set up a rematch at Radiator Ranch, the beaches of Winnebago, mano y mano, and I'll be the referee. All
right, let me know.
All right, talk to you later. Love you, bye.
That's so Jaco. Like, he's just down for whatever. Like, if you're like, hey, you're going to fight this guy on October 1st in the arena, he'd be like, okay. Yeah, he does not care. That's why me and him are such good friends. But I started off hating him.
Really? Why?
I hated him so much. Because he's always talking shit on me. Like, he just...
Why are you talking that ish, Jaco? Is that why y'all ultimately fought? Like, you liked who he was and you wanted to be friends, but you also couldn't get over
Jaco gets in
his
all
mouth.
Jaco gets in all these fights and wins. And so every once in a while I have to let them know
Yeah.
who's still on top of the mountain.
Well, one of these days we'll roll together. I mean, like jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
And I got to get to the bow shop today to get my bow figured out before this elk hunt.
Where are you going?
Kremlin, Colorado, up by Steamboat.
Oh, that sounds fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I got to put in for a tag next year.
Yeah, it's I'm pretty excited, but right now my groups are all over the place, and I've been shooting better than that. I think something's wrong with my bow, so I'm going to go get it checked out.
How many arrows do you think you've shot?
I mean, like here lately, like 100 a day.
Yeah, your strings have stretched.
You think so?
Yeah. Are they stock strings?
Are they what?
Stock strings.
Oh, stock.
Yeah.
I thought you were saying something super interesting. Yes, they are.
Yeah, they probably stretched.
Maybe I should get my bow restrung.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so glad that I didn't just chalk it up to me sucking.
Yeah. Yeah, my groups would be like this.
My strings
and then
have
after
stretched.
a while, they'll.
That's what's happened.
Yeah.
My strings have stretched, y'all. I need to go get my bow restrung. That I suck? You can't rule that out? I know one thing we can't rule out is that you do suck, Ty.
You definitely do need to like bump your poundage up a little.
I'm at 75.
You definitely might need to stop lifting weights because you look like you're pulling 55 pounds. You're
What? Son.
Like, dude, you must be freaking stronger than shit.
The shirt is a little big on me.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty strong.
Hey, have you done a podcast with Derek Wolf yet?
No, but we talked about it.
You guys need to do that because y'all both hunters now.
Yeah, and we're both really strong.
I think you could take him.
I know I could. I started rolling jiu-jitsu way before he did. I'm a 2-stripe white belt, Derek. We are both buddies with Kid Rock, too. You're friends with him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I've been around him. I mean, I went. I mean, he's definitely. We're friends, but not like hanging out all the time or anything.
Not like
Just
you and Tim or you and Cowboy.
Yeah, I mean, I know Bob, and Bob knows me, but
Yeah.
I've been to his house and stuff, but
Yeah.
we're friends, but not on like call him up, talk to him on the phone.
I remember asking him about you now, and he said, "Oh yeah, that little shit."
Dude, he's funny though. Like he'll say some stuff, and you're like, "That was out of pocket," but that was hilarious. Yeah, like your mom jokes. I'm like, God, that was
They never
brutal.
end.
No.
Or the D's nuts joke. Those never end.
No.
He will get you with the D's nuts joke.
Every time.
He did
Good
that
at him, too.
to the guy, the host of Newsmax on live television. Got him with the D's nuts joke.
Oh,
I'll send you the clip.
see if I did that, like me, you did that, like we'd just be immature and an asshole.
Well, how you and I are dealing with haters, and we say we don't care. He cares way less.
I still love my haters. I wish they'd come back. Please come back.
Yeah.
Maybe I ought to start cussing again.
Well, you did plenty on this podcast. These guys are gonna have to bleep it out.
Beep, beep.
We usually just make it quiet. The beeps are so interruptive.
Yeah, you gotta tone those
Interruptive?
down.
Is that a word? All right. Well, thanks for coming onto the podcast,
thank you for
and we'll do a part 3 soon after you win the world this year.
Deal.
So go get him, old son. Go get him in
I'll do
Pendleton. I'm Dale Brisby, and I'm on to the next one. Pow, pow. Hey, thanks for listening to this episode. We've got many more. You can go back. If you like the rodeo conversations, you got to check out Trevor Brazil, Ty Murray, a lot of podcasts we've had, Leon Coffey, Jim Sharp, Tuff Hedeman. The names just go on and on. JB Mooney. And then the best part about all those is Dale Brisby is in every one of them. So like, subscribe, comment on these podcasts, and then please don't forget to check out rodeotime.com. Thanks, guys. I'm on to the next one.